Good morning. Good morning, friends. Happy July. Yay. Oh, look how, I just love, this is the best spot in the whole community right here. I get to see all your faces. So nice. Thank you. Hey, I think it's probably on all of our hearts at the moment, but I'm wondering if we could just have a moment of silence for the little girls and people lost in floodwaters in Texas. There's just something about little girls. Not that any human life is more important than others, but dang, it's on my heart. One other thing I want to share for those old-timers, our beloved Virginia Febinger, who was Ginger the Clown, who worked with our preschool forever. She's 101 years old, and she's currently in the process of making her transition. So she was just here always. So blessings to Virginia, and may her clown shine bright. Welcome to Unity of Fort Collins. This is our beloved community, and we are so happy to welcome new folks. So if you are new here today and you'd like a welcome packet, Kamina has one. Just put your hand up and one will appear. There you go. Welcome also to our online participants. We always have just about the same number of people watching online as in the sanctuary. So, hi, friends. Today's speaker is Beth Bostwick. Yay! And Beth and Peter showed up here a little while ago, and they came in like happy tornadoes. Beth describes Peter as introverted. I have not seen that. So whoever's having the most fun in the choir, it's probably Peter. But Beth, we're just so delighted to have these folks join us. So Beth is speaking today. In July, our youth program is focusing on understanding one of the 12 powers as written by Charles Fillmore. So the kids program has been focusing on the 12 powers of unity. Our prayer chaplain today is Bonnie Goulding. Wave to Bonnie. She'll be back in the Myrtle room for about 10 minutes to join anybody in prayer. A concern or something to celebrate or love. There we go. Prayer chaplains meet at 11:30 today. The art wall is mostly Gloria, who tried to get us all to celebrate. Well, I'll just be quiet then. So, is there an announcement about the yard sale? I'll be quiet. Walking group, I'll be quiet. So the Unity Council is interested in manifesting a new preschool. So for folks who had been here a long time, we always had a preschool affiliated with Unity, and it brings kid energy and family energy. And when our kids were little, they owned the church. The 3-year-olds just rocked it in here. So we're looking for like-minded preschool So if you have any thoughts or ideas, let Mike Hawes know, but just, we're putting it out there. We're looking for kids. Our new class, the UWSI, which is the Unity Teacher and Spiritual Leader Training Program, is doing a new class called The Christ. We're reading the book from Father Richard Rohr, and the basis of it is the Christ is not Jesus' last name. What is the Christ? And that book is so delightful. So it's not too late to join up if you want to, and the book is in the bookstore. There's a team lead meeting after the service on July 13th to talk about the different teams. Everybody's welcome. And I think I'll let the rest of the group do their thing. Ready, set, go.
Friday night, we will be showing the movie Wicked at 6:30, and it should be fun. And we're starting early so you can get home or leave by 9 because it's a little bit longer. And we maybe need a 7th inning stretch in it for some folks, so it's okay to get up and stretch. So 6:30 here. Bring popcorn or whatever. Thanks.
I belong to the walking group. Tomorrow morning, our walking group is going to take a stroll along the Poudre River. I wanted to say the word river so it reminds you of cool breezes. Sure, yeah. We do walk on water in this church, don't we? Okay. Anyway, tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Lee Martinez Park, the walking group is meeting. And bring your sunscreen, lots of water, and hope to see you there. If you have any questions, talk to me in the foyer afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, just a reminder that in August we have the 50th, we have the picnic, and the theme is going to be about our 50th. Again, we're going to celebrate again, put the pictures back up. So if you did not get it, we hope you wear your t-shirt, any of you that bought one, but if you did not get a 50th commemorative t-shirt, we're taking another round of orders. We need to get 18, so if we don't, we won't get any more. But we decided to open up the colors. So there's men's and women's colors additionally to what we originally offered, and the colors are all on the wall there so you can see them. But just go to the bookstore and you can sign up for a t-shirt if you want one. Thanks.
Good morning. I want to announce, I'm very excited to announce we're having an art immersion summer. Me and Anisha are offering this. And at the end of this month, it'll kick off with a workshop or two for anyone who would like to be on the art wall but is a little hesitant about doing it. So the Wannabes is open to everybody, and I'll be sending around a clipboard around that next week. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Anisha's going to do a workshop on honoring your creativity on August 23rd, followed up with a workshop on creating artwork for the Art Wall October. So we could come up with something else, too, to have this art immersion summer. Just think about it. Creating. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm up here to invite you all. My name's Kamina, and I'm here to invite you to our Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, in the rooming room, 7 o'clock, our meditation night. And it becomes, I think, more and more important for us to feel like there's something we're doing in the world to make a difference. So meditation, connecting, blessing the earth, all of that is what happens in the rooming room on Tuesday at 7. And then if you'd like to stay, we do pranic healing sessions afterwards, free. And if you want to know more, I'd be happy to talk to you. So thank you.
last one. Hi, I'm Leanne. Quick reminder that our annual fundraising yard sale is this coming Saturday, the 12th. We have all of our volunteer slots filled, which is a fabulous thing. And I'll send out a reminder by email this week to the Saturday volunteers. You can still bring donations this week during office hours, which is 9 to 12, Monday through Thursday. And you can come to the sale and shop for wonderful treasures. Thank you.
You should see what it looks like back there. Woohoo! It's a thrift store. Leanne's dream come true. There you go. All right, friends, let's do our unity blessing together. Deep breath. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'd love to invite the choir up. And of course, if you'd like to sing along, please do. Up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds sat by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Said we don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds sat by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing. about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Every little thing gonna be alright. Thank you. Give the Unity Choir a hand.
Good morning. This reading is about releasing limitations. It is from the Daily Word. When I take steps in my life, I usually have a goal in mind. Whether my path is spiritual or secular, I take action to achieve the desired outcome. In the midst of my efforts, I embrace the sacred wisdom to pray and move my feet. This adage reminds me that as a divine being, it is within my power to use my spiritual gifts to move myself in the direction of my dreams. I don't always know where my talents will be needed most, and I trust the guidance of the divine within to lead me to the right place at the right time. While I move forward with a general goal in mind, I release the ultimate outcome. It's empowering to know I need not rely upon my human efforts alone. I let go and let God, and trust in divine timing and in right outcomes. Thank you.
Just welcome us all to settle into our breath.
Good morning, everybody. Didn't expect the applause, so. So I wanted to share with you my spiritual journey as a young girl and how I ended up at Unity. I grew up in Greeley, a very, very Catholic family. As far as I knew, everybody was Catholic. I remember sitting in the pews at St. Mary's, listening to the readings from the Old Testament and having a visceral reaction to the verses that had anything to do with women submitting to their husbands. In fact, that was probably one of the reasons why I decided as a young girl I was not going to get married, nor was I going to have kids. Babysitting also contributed to that one. Diaper changing as well. I also remember having a very powerful experience in high school. I was a senior. It was a summer night, and a wonderful friend had invited me to a party at an apartment complex where they were going to have a bonfire out back. And I thought, wow, this is like so cool. We went and had an amazing time. My friend decided to go to another party that evening, but I was running cross country in the high school cross country team, and I knew I was headed home because I had an early morning workout the next day. I had met earlier that evening a UNC student who was also on the men's wrestling team. And he had said, hey, can you give me a ride home? And I thought, well, my friend's going to this other party, so sure. Well, got to his place. He invited me in. I said, no, I don't want to go in. I've got a workout the next morning. He asked again, and I declined. He then began to be really insistent that I come in. And I remember this voice in my head. Do not let go of the steering wheel. Do not let go of the steering wheel. It kept repeating, and it got louder and louder with every insistence this guy made. Eventually, he got out of the car and slammed the door so hard that the car shook. Another very powerful experience I had was actually the first time I went with Peter. We went to see a movie, I think, at CSU. Cheap date. I came home and told my roommate I had this really uncomfortable feeling. And she said, well, why? You had a nice time? Yeah, I had a nice time. But I told her I felt like I was going to know Peter for a really long time. And I really didn't feel comfortable with that because, one, he wasn't the kind of guy who I thought I'd marry, if in fact I ever did get married. So that was pretty interesting. Eventually, Peter and I did start to date, and he did in fact ask me to marry him. And yeah, I kind of reneged on that self-commitment. He was a pretty interesting guy. Just prior to getting married, one of my bridesmaids sat me down to question whether I should marry Peter, whether he was the right guy, because he wasn't a Christian. And I was just overwhelmed that she was bringing this up like just weeks before the wedding. And all I could say was that he was a really good person. Why not? Shortly after that encounter, I had a very strong sense that I would regret not marrying him. Just came up. I share these specific instances with you because as a young woman, I was learning to listen to myself and pay attention to what I was saying internally. Unfortunately, that did not translate through as I entered the work world. After Peter and I had been married for a couple years, independent of each other, we both decided that we wanted to go back and get an MBA. And then when we shared it with each other, it's like, how's that going to work? How are we going to afford this? Well, we decided, first step, let's see if we can get into the same school. So we applied to a whole pile of schools. And yes, we did get accepted to a number of them together, or we both independently were accepted. And then we figured, well, figure out how to pay for it somehow. We ended up choosing Purdue in Indiana, which is a really big change for me because I had spent my entire life here in Colorado. And, well, now I was going to really launch myself, and I told Peter, I said, we'll get married, but I'm not going to stay in Colorado. We're going to move because I got to go do things in the world. Well, this was my first step, and it was pretty damn scary. In orientation, I remember all the deans of the business school were up on stage giving a presentation about basically all the stuff we were going to have to do in the next couple of years. And I noticed some really odd sensations in my vision. As I was listening to different speakers, I kept blinking my eyes and like, this just doesn't seem quite right. Well, a couple days later, I realized I should probably go figure out where the Student Health Center was, and I went in there, and they couldn't figure anything out, but they referred me to a neurologist in town who ran a ton of tests. The challenges he had in working with me was I was in excellent physical shape. I'd been racing bicycles here in Colorado just months prior to going to school. I had no relevant health history that gave him any clues as to why these symptoms were happening to me. And those symptoms were changing daily. In fact, I remember developing a routine in the morning when I'd get up before I'd go to class. And I'd try to figure out what was still working in my body. Was I weaker? Was I numb someplace new? Did my vision get worse? Are there any odd other sensory shifts that somehow aren't happening? I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis that first semester. While that experience in and of itself was a game changer on so many fronts for me, looking back on it, there was a very specific experience I had that became a really important part of my journey here to Unity. One of the many diagnostic tests I had that summer, that fall, was a spinal tap. And when they do that, they use a needle to pull out some of your spinal fluid to use for a bunch of tests to figure out what might be wrong with you. After spending a couple days lying on my back so that that needle hole would seal, Peter and I decided to go see a movie because we've been studying a lot. Well, the hole didn't seal up. I ended up with a very, very painful spinal headache. Eventually, essentially what was happening is my brain was banging around inside my skull. I see some head nods here. You know what I'm talking about. It was really bad. So there wasn't enough fluid between my brain and my skull to cushion it. Result was I had to lay on my back for an entire week on that dirty shag carpet in that apartment. I couldn't study, I couldn't read. Eating was a chore because I couldn't lift my head even a smidgen off the ground. So I had to lie flat on that floor for over a week until that hole would seal up. Technology didn't exist like we have today. No such thing as iPhones, iPods, none of that existed. Netflix wasn't even an imagination in somebody's head, or a thought in somebody's head. So other than sleeping, I realized the only option for me was to daydream for the next week while that hole sealed up. Now I'll loop back to that daydreaming thing in a minute, and you'll see how it all connects. So I ended up doing well in school, even though it was kind of a difficult start. Peter and I both graduated at the same time. We went on to have some amazing work experiences in large companies and consulting over the next 15 years. It was when we found ourselves in the Bay Area that we decided to jump off the cliff and start a company. How hard could it be? We're two smart people. We'll figure it out. It was really, really, really hard, and I'm telling you, it was really, really hard. But we eventually built one of the early SaaS companies, which is software as a service, and we sold it after about 10 years. But it was in that last year of that company's life that our core customer wanted out of his exclusive contract. And unfortunately for us, he was able to do it. That was devastating. That was a sucker punch like I had never had before. I remember we took the car and drove to the coast, opened the car door up, never said a word, and just sat there. We could not believe that that happened to us. After 10 years of blood, sweat, and bootstrapping that company, we suddenly found ourselves with 6 months of runway, after which we'd need to file for bankruptcy and lay off all our employees. That Christmas, we decided to visit Peter's family in Florida. And on the way back, we thought we'd stop in New Orleans for a couple days. We needed some time to think about how we were going to address this problem. I remember telling Peter, when we were in that hotel room in New Orleans, I said, we have to change everything because all the stuff we're doing is not working. So we have to change everything. We had to stop fighting and living in the soup of negativity we'd found ourselves living in the last few years. At the time, Peter had been reading a lot of books about the power of your thoughts. And in some of those books, he found the bibliographies particularly interesting. And these were not books that you would find in that your local business executive would be reading. It was really like different stuff. But there seemed to be a common theme among those books that focused on how and what you thought about in your life, yourself, and your experiences was really important to living an empowered life. This was news to me. This did not come out of the Catholic Church. It was then that we decided to really take this to heart and try to pay attention to how we thought about ourselves and those around us. We really didn't understand it, what it meant, but it wasn't going to cost us anything except our time and our effort. We knew we were on a burning platform and figured we had nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain. I remember being pretty skeptical about it all because it just didn't seem logically to make sense. But we really didn't have any other options. And I wasn't going to let the skepticism get in my way. So the following 6 months, we paid attention to our thinking, particularly the thoughts we hadn't intentionally initiated. And as we watched our thinking like a fly on the wall, we realized many of our thoughts were negative, judgmental, and frequently centered on others, not ourselves. Every day we shared what we learned about ourselves with each other. And ever so slowly, we began to recognize that our relationship was actually getting a little bit better. Been battered pretty bad. We also noticed each day that the next day wasn't quite as bad as the day before, not quite as gray. From the beginning, I had jumped in and was really trying hard, but taking seriously this whole thinking thing, just as, a scientist, that was my undergrad, and as a business person who really valued logic, it just didn't quite fit. All the jobs I'd held in large companies, and even in the startup world, valued logic and being able to build a business case that other people could understand. And this whole thinking thing just didn't quite fit in that category. I found myself trying to mine my own past experiences to find something that would really validate this crazy thinking thing that we were trying to do. I had all but shoved my internal listening ability that I was developing as a young woman under the rug for years because it wasn't valued in the business world. And I figured someday I might lift the rug up and kind of figure out some of that stuff that I was trying to say to myself. It was during this time when I was really trying to find some experience in my thinking in the past that I found an answer to my skepticism. That daydreaming I did all those years ago when I was in graduate school, lying on that dirty shag rug and recovering from the spinal headache. I remember in my daydreams how I focused on how much fun I had riding in the mountains, riding up the Poudre Canyon and coming flying back down the corners, leaning into the curves when my body was strong and healthy, feeling the gravity pull me around and the sheer physical power I had when I was on the bike. I loved that. That was just special. I realized all the time I was daydreaming on that rug, I was very intentionally building my future. And because I was looking back on it after a couple decades, I could validate that that in fact is what happened. I did not end up in a wheelchair like all the people who I saw at that first MS support group I went to years ago. Today, I'm nearly as strong as I was back then. So that daydreaming proved to me that intentionally thinking about my future and feeling what that future looks like really works. When I realized I'd already practiced this, I threw my full effort into learning as much as I could and put it into practice and really see if we could deal with this looming problem with our company. 6 months from that visit to New Orleans, we sold the company. All our employees kept their jobs. And it took us another year to unwind how we were able to sell the company to someone who told us just a few months earlier they weren't interested. Our product didn't change. The marketplace didn't change. Only thing that changed in that 6 months was us and how we thought about ourselves. After we moved to Fort Collins a couple years ago, we were looking for a spiritual community that reflected that kind of thinking. And I remember coming in here, it's like church was not my thing. Too many bad, I wouldn't say bad memories, but just too restricting. And I looked on the wall and I saw number 3 over there. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. I knew we'd found our place here at Unity because I lived that principle, and I know just how powerful it is, and I can intentionally create my future. Now I get to see other people who have the same sense of this energy about what's available to us if we choose to tap into it. But we have to choose. Thank you.
Fitting song for Beth's beautiful talk.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. the state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere, and every thought's indeed a prayer.
So if you could close your eyes and just sit for a minute and just let your thoughts float. Don't focus them, just let them happen. Be a fly on the wall in your head. Observe your thinking. Just observe it. Don't judge it. Just listen. Do you notice anything about your thoughts that you're observing? Are they gentle? Are they judgmental? Do they race or do they just float? Are they encouraging or are they evaluating? So slowly bring yourself back into the room, just gently float back. Shake your fingers, open your eyes. So this became a core element of how Peter and I learned to understand how we thought about ourselves, and was one of the very elemental parts, if you will, of our journey to begin to understand how powerful our thinking really is. From here, you can continue this practice on your own and learn more about how you think about yourself, because it really does matter.
May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
So good morning. Beth, thank you. Thank you for being so willing to be vulnerable and tell that story and share it with us. It was pointed out to me that there was a book back here in our bookstore, so I picked it up. You can choose. Life is complicated, but the universe is really simple. Peter and Beth Bostwick. Can we get some more of these for folks to buy them? I think this story is well worth discovering. I really do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. On an average Sunday when you come here, your spiritual leaders speak less than half the time. So now you know why. So yes, we're very appreciative of each and every one of you that have taken the opportunity to come up here and share your life. So I'd like to have us point to the little word gratitude right now. We're so grateful for Beth Bostwick and Peter as they become part of this community. We are so grateful. We're so grateful for each and every message that enters our lives, whether it's the words of Beth or in some other way in this community. We're so grateful for our prosperity, which leads us into the offering. So I wonder if you take your offering and just hold it in your hands gently and say, I am grateful. Together, I am grateful. And then let's bless that offering with the words on the screen. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
So we're just going to continue that meditation a little bit. The nice group chant of Om So Hum, which means I am that. So I'd just like to take a moment. Eyes can still be open if the basket is heading our way, or if they can be closed. And we'll just tune into our bodies. Once again, tuning into our breath. And as we hum and chant, I'd like to invite you to pay attention to the resonance that you feel in your own body. We'll feel it especially on those no closed M's. Feel that vibration. So let's just do a nice oh yeah, and I'll play my guitar in the beginning, and then I'll just let us all chant together at the end without the guitar. Om So Hum. 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 finish with 3 ohms. Om. Nice deep inhale, all of us together.
Okay, let's break into a raucous "This Little Light of Mine" directly from that. Go ahead.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Where are those kids? Are they coming? We hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, we got all these kids up here. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Say this little light, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, yeah. Under a bushel, I said, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, hide it under a bushel. Never, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. Nope, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, oh, let it shine. This little light one more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Say this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Just one more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Well, thank you, Elise Wonder, and
Y'all,
all you
y'all
Unity
made me
kids.
choke up back here watching all the beauty.
So if you don't know that person next to you, would you introduce yourself just for a moment? And we got one other thing. One other thing.
Okay. It's birthday Sunday. Do we have any birthdays this month? Any birthdays? Come forward, please. Gloria. All right, all right. Any more? Okay. You know what to do.
And July 26th.
Gloria, July 9th.
Yay. Okay, we're going to sing to our beloveds now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear beloveds. Happy birthday to you.
So we have the prayer of protection, then the peace song. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.